Thank you very much. I'd like to echo my colleagues' sentiments and say that I'm very honored to have been asked to be a part of this today. It was very difficult to decide what to talk about. In fact, I'm still deciding it right now because I think I could go on for 5 hours instead of 5 minutes about the personal challenges that I've faced. And I think that's really where I was planning on focusing, talking about myself and my challenges. And I think I'd actually like to come at it from a different direction. The second question was the current status of women. And a lot of points, excellent points, have been raised by the first panel of speakers. And it struck me recently, so I joined the University of Waterloo 2 years ago and had a baby 3 months later, and they were absolutely fantastic and very supportive. Our chair, he has 5 children. A number of the male faculty are of a similar age, and a number of them have many children, some 4, 5, 3. There tends to be sort of large families. I'm not sure why. I don't think it's unique to our department, but we seem to have recruited people who like kids. And I felt supported in a way that I had not felt throughout my postdoctoral training when I hid my first pregnancy for 6 months. Yes, it's possible. And I felt supported in a way that I hadn't felt during my PhD. And I felt that I'd met this group of colleagues, and it tended to be a younger department. And I felt there was this group of colleagues, largely men, but there were women who were hired. And I felt like I'd reached utopia in the last 2 years. It was wonderful. People asked for my opinion. I felt that there was an exchange of ideas. There was a lot of respect between that I felt coming from my male colleagues, and I didn't feel that there was a power vacuum at all. And oddly coincidental with being asked to join this panel, I was approached by graduate students within our department who raised concerns and said that they were deeply unhappy in some ways because of not overt sexism that they were experiencing, but they felt that that they were missing out in a very subtle way, and that seems to be what comes up. They weren't getting the face time with their supervisors. They were looking for more input, more guidance, even just the time to joke around. And they felt that their male colleagues had an edge, and they were feeling left out. And it was shocking to see that from a group that I felt so accepted by. But then there is an age differential of 10 to 15 years. And I thought, it's exactly where I was 15 years ago, feeling those same subtle problems, and there's no direct way to address them. You can't come out and say, you've done something terrible to me. It's just that I am not that same person that my male colleagues are. And I spent many, many years trying to become that person that my male colleagues are. But no matter how much beer I drink or hockey I watch, I'm not going to become that person. And the older I get, the more that differential seems to play out. And what's really important moving forward is that there are women in place who are accepting of the fact that I'm not a man, and they think that it's a good idea that I'm here anyway. And I think what's also important is that there are men who are there who accept that I'm not a man, and yet it's still good that I am moving into this position and moving forward. And I came into the department, and I think because everyone was so young, I felt this acceptance and enthusiasm and encouragement and a lot of excitement, and it seemed excellent. And I realize right now we've got about over 24 faculty, and we now, one of the 2 tenured full professors is about to retire, which will leave only one single tenured full professor who's a female in our department. And we're actually about to head into an enormous power vacuum. There are women in our department, they're starting to hire a lot more of them, but there's a huge power differential. And I didn't realize that when I first came in. I was full of excitement and exuberance, and I'd met this group of young individuals who were very excited with me. And I think that these are not bad people. And the thing is, the women who've talked to me don't think that the men that they feel unfairly treated by their supervisors, they don't feel that they're bad people either. They don't think they're doing it on purpose. They're not trying to impede their progress. It's just that the tools are not necessarily there to recognize that this may be a problem. And I think this is really the third part, is the recommendations. And I came here hoping to find some. I think we need to raise that. If I had a friend who came to me, if I had a person who came to me and said, I am facing overt discrimination, or I am facing subtle discrimination, and this is how it is affecting me, I would want to support that person. I would want to help that person. I believe that if I raise this issue with my department, with my colleagues, and say that it's not just them, and this, I think, was the personal challenge that I want to raise. It's not just them. I don't want this to be a witch hunt in any way, shape, or form, although it's very difficult for me to talk about it because these are very kind individuals and people who really want to see good things happen. But I realize that from where I grew up, if my family could take everything I've become and everything I am and give it to my brother, who has not even a modicum of ambition and is a very, very happy person, but he loves hunting and fishing, and he's very happy with what he's achieved. But if they could make him who I am and take who I am and just take that away, they absolutely would. And they would feel a little bit bad, but not that bad. They'd feel very, very rewarded by the fact that their son had succeeded in the way that they had always hoped. And so I'm coming into it with this incredible challenge in that I come out of a very sexist environment that I've been ignoring for decades. I think I've been ignoring it my whole life. I think it's only been this year that I've really realized that that is a fundamental challenge that I bring in. The way I look at other women, the way I look at what it is I have to do to be accepted, the amount that I have to achieve. I just expect that I'm going to have to achieve way more to be allowed to participate. And I see it as a lack of sexism in the fact that I'm allowed to be there, not the presence of sexism in that I'm not awarded the same opportunities. I am coming at it from a fundamentally biased, flawed point of view. So hoping that the next generation and the equality that will be achieved in terms of gender numbers going forward, hoping that that's going to solve it, I think is hopelessly naive. There needs to be awareness, and the sheer act of making people aware is enough to change how we act. Once we're aware of what is happening and how we are ourselves acting and how we ourselves may be biased, those are the first steps in allowing us to make those changes. And I think that there's going to be reception for that, but I want support in this. I need tools. I don't have them. I've been running from it my whole life, so I'm probably not even the person to address this. So one of the things that I was hoping in coming today is that I could make connections with people who can offer hard data and who can offer concepts and ideas and resources that I can take back. We don't need a witch hunt. What we really need is just the opportunity to realize within ourselves what biases and what problems we bring to the table in order that we can become better people, and then we can make the world a better place. Thank you very much.